So I completed Mage Arena 2 last night, and some things I wanted to talk about in this video were how crazy risky this was. I already had a lot of time invested into this account, but I still think it was a smart thing to do to get the Mage Arena 2 out of the way in case I did get unlucky and get PK'd. Because, it is really risky. Someone in my clan got PK'd doing the Mage Arena just last week, and so that made it even more scarier. And there's a video online of a hardcore doing the Mage Arena, and the PKer holding his account for ransom, and he paid off the PKer 200 mil to let him go. I've heard there are hardcore ironman out there with max combat that still don't have the Mage Arena 2 cape, so I'm happy I got this out of the way. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was the amount of preparation and strategy crafting that went into getting this. This is my first Ironman, so getting everything set up for the Mage Arena 2 was brutal. So getting the gold to buy blood runes was a huge obstacle early on before I even decided to do the Mage Arena 2. I got 77 mining and 77 thieving because for some reason I thought thieving would be a good money maker for Ironman. I mean, you'd think, but it's not. So the moment I realized I wanted to do Mage Arena 2, I realized I needed a few things. I needed food, an offhand magic book, runes, 75 magic, and gold, of course. So I got 50 fishing so that I could catch and cook swordfish, but it turns out later on that I could just get blighted mana rays. So that was kind of pointless. So the grind really started when I started doing Guardians of the Rift. But it didn't feel like a grind because the runes I was crafting, I was actually going to use. So dare I say it, I actually enjoyed Guardians of the Rift for once. So for my offhand mage book, I did the pre-quest and the quest Horror from the Deep for the Book of Darkness. But I realized that you needed the pages for the book, so I gave up on doing that and started grinding Mage Arena training for the other book, which is actually a lot better. I didn't even know this, but it's got better stats than the Book of Darkness, and it's even got a mage damage bonus. So for about a week straight, I was hopping between doing Guardians of the Rift and slowly chipping away at the mage training arena, which wasn't too bad. It took hella a long time, but it wasn't too bad. But once I got the Mage's book, I realized I needed a source of blood runes. So I looked through every single monster in the wiki, and it turns out that buying the blood runes was the easiest way to go. So then I had to look up where do I buy the blood runes, and you can buy them from the rune shop in Arceus, but they're 40 GP cheaper if you buy them from the Mages Guild rune shop. So I eventually got around to unlocking that, and I need to unlock it anyways to get the Mystic Robes. When I was researching setups to do the Mage Arena 2, people were saying how you can just wear Black D-Hide, but my account's not ready for that, and I don't understand because Mystic Robes has a higher magic defense bonus, and the bosses do magic damage, right? So it's going to cost me, I think it's over 200k for a full Mystic set. But yeah, what it really came down to was just getting enough money to buy the blood runes and supplies. I did a ton of Valimore thieving. I think I'm at 82 thieving now because of it, but it's so slow. So I ended up just grinding my smithing up and high-alching swords and chain bodies for GP. So the rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper because if you have 80 magic, then you can use a spell which makes your god spells just do more damage. I saw online you can use the mage potion in the nightmare zone to boost your magic level up to cast a god spell inside the nightmare zone to give yourself the temporary god spell buff. But I didn't have that many quests completed on my hardcore Ironman to do the nightmare zone and get the magic potion, but I got enough quests done so that I had only melee bosses. So that's just an example of the amount of theory crafting and effort that went into preparing to do the Mage Arena 2. I also learned how to farm Zeal from the Soul Wars, with 2 accounts so that I could get like blighted, super restores, and combo food. I ended up buying a ton of anglers instead of mana ray because for some reason I thought anglers restore 22 hit points, but it turns out anglers scale off your HP level, and I only have 60 HP. It turns out I need to go back there and farm some more zeal to buy mana rays. But after doing the mage arena 2, it turns out that I think I probably needed that extra bit of food. Anyway, so yesterday when I actually did do the mage arena 2, I realized I'd miscalculated how much gold I actually needed for the blood runes. I thought I needed 2 mil minimum, but it turned out I needed 200k minimum. Well, just over 200k. And I realized this in the morning, and it dawned on me that this is the perfect time to do the mage arena 2, because you don't want to do it on the weekends because that's when it's busiest, and you don't want to do it in the morning or during the day in Australia because that's the peak hours. You'll want to do wilderness stuff around 6 p.m. in Australia because that's when America's sleeping. And I even googled what time it is in America just to verify when the best time to do it is. Anyway, so yeah, all day yesterday I grinded my last magic level and got the last amount of GP that I need for runes. Crafted rings of recoil, and then I bonded up my pure account just as a extra scout on top of my main account. It was actually getting kind of overwhelming in the end to manage 3 accounts at once, so I think I just started playing on my hardcore and my pure in the end. I offered like a couple of my friends in my clan like 20 mil to guard me while I'm in the mage arena, but yeah, everyone was busy around the time because of my time zone. I also skulled up on both my accounts just to make it look more scary while I'm doing the mage arena. And like if a PKer comes along, then they're more likely to attack the skulled player than an unskulled player. And I actually have some footage of that actually working. So I also installed a plugin which makes your screen flash whenever another player is on your screen, which actually really helped. While I was in the middle of doing the quest, there was a game update, which sucks because I've actually been disconnected like 20 minutes before the game update, so it's kind of risky doing any hardcore ironman stuff around this time. Not only that, but from my experience PKing on my pure and running bones on my main, is that right after game updates the wilderness gets a lot busier. I mean, people might think that it's the best time to do wilderness content right after a game update, but from my experience it gets more busier. I don't know, maybe like the PKers are starting to pick up on that or something. Yeah, I don't know. And I actually did notice I was running into more people after the game update. Another thing I got unlucky with was the spawn for the Guthix boss it was not only right in the middle of a bunch of venomous spiders, which I didn't have any anti-poison on my hardcore Ironman, but it was right outside of Callisto's lair. So yeah, a massive hotspot for PKs. I just had to wait out. I had to wait like an hour for the spawn to change. The wiki says 45 minutes or so, but yeah, I had to wait a while. And the longer I wait, the riskier it gets, because at this point it was like 10 at night, and that's when the rest of the world starts waking up and everyone starts logging in. Anyways, I think that's all that I want to talk about. Yeah, I woke up and I just grinded all day until 10 p.m. This took weeks of planning, and yeah, well, not everything went as planned, but I survived, and that's all that matters. Anyways, that's about it. I'm gonna upload the whole thing as a separate video, just lightly edited. I'll probably add on a couple notable clips on the end of this video of a couple times I ran into PKs, but not all of them. But yeah, that's about it, and I'll see you later.